Welcome to the Cover 2 Show, Season 2. I'm your host, Jason, riding solo because DC is losing all his life savings in Las Vegas. Hopefully not. We're going to change things up this year until we get some people saying, hey, we want to hear about these other games. We're just going to preview in depth Steubenville and Indian Creek every week. Not saying we won't go over other games, but the in-depth previews will just be Steubenville and Indian Creek because that seems to be what most of our listeners are. If you haven't already, click the bell and subscribe. Comment down below. Let us know what schools you follow and if we should maybe go in depth on them one week for a rivalry game or whatever. Feel free to send your request in the comments down below. All right, let's get into this. Steubenville opens their season Friday night at Harding Stadium against Riverside Beavers out of Painesville, Ohio. If you're not familiar with Riverside, don't assume that this is a routine Week 1 matchup for Big Red, which I don't know what that means because last year Week 1 was Ursuline before they had to give up their season. Riverside's a solid football program. The Beavers finished last season 7-4, picked up a win over Chardon, and their only loss one of their only losses came to Austintown Fitch by 3 points. They consistently compete against strong opposition and proven they can hold their own. They also bring back valuable experience. Senior Bo Brandehoff, I believe I'm saying his name correctly, returns at quarterback. He has a pair of opposing wide receivers to work with. Dave Siebert stands about 6'5", and Javion Kaiser is 6'2". Both will also contribute in the secondary, meaning Big Red will see them on both sides of the ball throughout the night. In addition, Xavier Caligar is a 220-pound senior running back and middle linebacker. Riverside enters with a veteran quarterback, size on the perimeter, and a physical presence that won't be intimidated by the environment at Harding Stadium. For Big Red, Satino Haney returns at quarterback. He is surrounded by familiar contributors, including Landon Crozier, Zari Scurry, Braden Edwards, Demetrius Benjamin, and Caden Anderson. However, Big Red also has several players stepping into expanded roles this season. That is one of the key stories heading into Friday night. Who steps up? Who emerges as the next difference maker? And how quickly does this group begin to resemble the Big Red teams we're accustomed to seeing? We already know what Reno Succosh expects. Big Red will line up, play physical football, control the line of scrimmage, and attempt to wear opponents down over 4 quarters. But Riverside has enough experience to make this an intriguing test. The matchup to watch is Big Red's secondary against those tall receivers of Riverside. With targets that size, the quarterback doesn't need perfect throws. He can simply give his receivers a chance to make a play. Big Red's going to have to get that pressure that their defensive front is accustomed to getting on the quarterback, make his night a little more hectic so he doesn't have time to throw back there. Big Red cannot afford to allow easy third down conversions or concede contested catches in the red zone. I'm interested in see how comfortable Haney looks running the offense, although he looked pretty good at it last year at most of the time. Can Big Red establish the run early? That's going to be important. I think Big Red has a lot of speed on offense, so that's going to probably give Riverside some fits. Big Red's going to have to avoid the Week 1 issues, penalties, missed assignments, turnovers. Those aren't usually big things for Big Red anyway. They're well coached, but this is a tough opponent. So Riverside is good enough to capitalize on mistakes. So Big Reds don't have to take advantage of any mistakes Riverside makes, obviously. This is potentially a very competitive game early. Riverside may even land the first significant blow and create some early tension inside Harding Stadium. But as the game progresses, Big Red's depth, physicality, and home field advantage should begin to take over. That's right. Harding Stadium, you need to be rocking, Big Red faithful. Very disappointed the way the crowds were at times last year in Harding Stadium. So, love to see them turn it up a little bit here the first game. Support those kids out there on the field. Riverside will provide a challenge, but I'm picking Big Red to start the season 1-0 on the season, and I think Dylan would agree with me on that one if he was here. Next, we'll get into the Indian Creek Redskins. They open their season tomorrow night, Thursday night, against Cambridge at Kettlewell Stadium. They're part of News 9's Thursday Night Lights, so they'll be on TV live at 7 o'clock on Channel 9. Indian Creek's coming off an excellent season. They finished 9-2, capturing the OVAC 4A championship, and opened the year with 8 consecutive wins before a heartbreaking overtime loss to St. Clairsville. And their season concluded with a 51-37 playoff defeat to Johnstown Monroe in Kettlewell Stadium as well in the first round. But overall, it was a significant step forward for the program. Now the challenge is to sustain success. Indian Creek must replace quarterback Ian Starkey, and that's not going to be a small task. His last season, Starkey threw for more than 1,300 yards and rushed for 1,000, accounting for 24 total touchdowns in the regular season, 12 passing, and 12 rushing. That production is not easily replaced. Senior Ethan Starr is listed as quarterback, with junior Caden Haynes also in the mix. Whoever earns the job doesn't need to replicate Starkey immediately, but must protect the football and keep that offense on the field. The good news for Indian Creek is that experienced talent remains around the new quarterback. Bruce Major, the 190-pound senior tailback, middle linebacker, Jordan Hines, adds versatility at wide receiver and safety. Demetrius Brandon Jr., Franco Barcalo, Mason Salazar, Adam Glasher, and Bo Pullman all provide valuable senior leadership on both sides of the football. Sorry, my microphone fell. Fix this real quick. All right, there we go. So it's not a full rebuild for the Redskins. They have a strong core of players who understand what it takes to win after last season. On the other side, Cambridge is coming off a difficult season. The Bobcats went 0-10 last year. Indian Creek defeated them 35-6 in Cambridge. In fact, Cambridge has gone winless the last 2 seasons. However, this is a new year, and Cambridge also has a new head coach, Roman Conley. That adds some uncertainty, as Indian Creek will not have a clear picture of the new system and schemes. Cambridge also has size on the perimeter. Senior wide receiver Damian Kissinger stands 6'4", and he will be the player Indian Creek must account for, particularly in key situations near the goal line and on third down. Still, this game ultimately comes down to Indian Creek. How does the offense function without Starkey? They're going to want to oppose their will physically, much like Big Red is going to try to do to teams as well. I expect Creek to line up in that wishbone at times and really pound the football when they have to. Indian Creek should be the more complete team. They're at home, coming off a 9-2 season, and have handled Cambridge comfortably in recent years. But they cannot approach this game as if last year's success guarantees anything. They must avoid early season mistakes and protect the football and allow the new quarterback to find his rhythm. I expect Cambridge to play with energy under the new head coach, which they seem to have like a new coach every year there at Cambridge, which may lead to a slow start for Indian Creek. I think that'd be a slow start for Cambridge, if anything. However, once Creek settles in, their experience and physical play should take control. I'm taking Indian Creek to begin the season 1-0. So, Creek and Big Red both starting off 1-0 on the season. Before we get into the other games or whatever to watch for there, I would like to look at something. There we go. There. All right, other games around the valley. You have Frontier visiting Bridgeport, River and Portsmouth Notre Dame, Conotton Valley and Tuskegee Central Catholic, Crestview and Beaver Local, Buckeye Local, Bel Air, Caldwell and Buckeye Trail, Harrison Central, Claymont, Edison hits the road to Coshocton, Carrollton and East Liverpool, Shadyside and East Palestine, Barnesville and John Glenn, Columbiana and Lowellville, Toronto and Southern Local. The game of the week on Friday is St. Clairsville and West Branch. Cameron takes on West Green. That'll be games to watch week 1. Buckeye Trail and Caldwell, big game there as well. Don't see any other games to watch for in week 1 other than those. Yeah. Looking ahead at the Indian Creek Redskins schedule. Going on down through here. All right. That's not how I want to do that. I have to figure that out later. Anyway, going through, we'll just look at week 2 for Steubenville and Indian Creek. Maybe we'll look somewhere else for their schedules. How's everyone's off season been? I have been very busy. Going to go ahead and do our little prediction for Steubenville and Indian Creek. If you have a prediction for Steubenville or Indian Creek or whatever school you follow, drop it in the comments down below. Like to hear those. Also, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. So, Big Red, looking at their schedule. They have a few tough games on there this year. It's a very tough schedule. They are favorites in Division III for a lot of people. I think Big Red could go anywhere between 10-0 and 8-2, somewhere in there. We'll, tough game against DeSales week 9. Got Ursuline week 7. Cardinal Mooney, the 11th of September. Dover, the second week of the season. So, tough schedule for Big Red. Let's see where they end up. But anywhere between 8-2 and 10-0 on the season. would be what my guess. Regional championship probably. Be a good guess as well for the Big Red. For Indian Creek, their schedule very similar has been the last couple years, playing in that Buckeye 8. I'm not a big fan of it. I think they need to play a little tougher schedule personally. I've always been critical of their scheduling, but it is what it is. Looking at Indian Creek's schedule, they easily can go anywhere from 4-6 to 8-2. To be honest with you, it just depends on how this all works out for them with the new quarterback and everything there. Gonna have a hard time beating St. Clairsville. Buckeye or Beaver local will probably be a tough one for them, and Union local will be a tough one for them. Other than that, they should win the rest of their games. They should. But we'll see. They play 5 games at home. If they win their 5 home games and sneak 2 away games away, maybe they make the playoffs, host a playoff game, maybe. We'll see. Moving along. Other teams to watch around the OVAC. Let's go with St. Clairsville. The Red Devils went 8-4 last year and advanced to the second round of the playoffs. They are a consistently competitive program, well coached, strong in the trenches, and rarely prone to beating themselves. Their schedule is also demanding. They play in the Buckeye 8 as well, but their 2 games they play outside are much tougher than the games Creek plays outside. So, St. Clairsville, very tough team. They play West Branch and Wheeling Park and Indian Creek. Those are their big games. And that Week 9 matchup with Creek could be one of the biggest games in the Valley this season. It was last season as well. Next, Barnesville. The Shamrocks finished 9-3 and won the OVAC 3A championship last year. They reached the second round of the Division 5 playoffs. Barnesville has established itself as the most consistent program, one of the most consistent programs in the region. They're physical, defensively sound, and accustomed to playing meaningful games late in the year. They open on the road against New Concord John Glenn. They also face Martins Ferry, Wheeling Central, and Union Local. On the West Virginia side, Wheeling Park remains a program to watch. The Patriots went 7-5 last year and reached the Class 4A state quarterfinals. This year's team is younger and may experience some early growing pains, but Wheeling Park traditionally plays challenging schedule and features strong athleticism and tends to improve as the season progresses. Their September 25th matchup with St. Clairsville is a strong measuring stick for both programs. And finally, the Cameron Dragons, they deserve a mention as well. They won the OVAC 1A championship last year and advanced to West Virginia Class A state semifinals before falling to Clay Battelle, the CBs. Cameron finished 8-4 with 3 of those wins coming in the postseason. It's not right. They wouldn't have won to 5-4 and made whatever. While the regular season had its ups and downs, they peaked at the right time. They will face Toronto October 23rd in a game that closes Toronto's regular season and could be one of the more compelling small matchups in the Valley. Cameron has become one of the most successful programs in the region and now enters each season with championship expectations. Those 4 additional teams to watch outside of Big Red and Indian Creek. There will always be surprise teams that emerge heading into Week 1. These are the programs best positioned to make noise in the OVAC this season. If you have a team that you think is going to make a splash this year, comment down below. Let us know who it is. Also, DC will be back next week. We'll recap week 1 in the OVAC, Ohio, and we'll talk about this Creek and Big Red games. Probably whatever other games pop out for us, and then we'll preview Big Red and Dover and Creek and whoever they play week 2, which I forget already. But anyway, that's all for this week on the Cover 2 show. Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed, like the video, comment down below, help us out with the algorithm. Also, if you're in the podcast and you enjoy hearing me talk, I have a podcast as well. It's called Unsanctioned Chaos with Jason and JR, so go over and check that out on YouTube or anywhere you listen to podcasts. I would appreciate that as well. Go ahead and subscribe to that channel too. Anyway, until next week, enjoy the start of high school football season.